All right, we are. Go ahead, Ben. Go.
Welcome, everybody. We are Scott and I are here. We're not wearing. If you notice the thumbnail, we're not wearing the blazers. I saw some comments coming through.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Monday casual.
Yep. Those tuning in, of course, I'm Scott. I think most of you probably know me by now. I'm in the Heartland, and we're getting snow. Ben, how's it going in Nashville?
Yeah, it's going well. Side note, I put my Instagram handle here because although I love everybody here, every time I do a stream, I get a lot of requests for my personal Instagram, which is this, and it's just me and my daughter taking pics together. Nothing fun there. So if you want to talk about whiskey on Instagram, follow me there. I'm not the most responsive anyway, so that's just a little warning, but that's why that's there. You can follow me there. Not so much there. Yeah, all good. It's cold as hell. It's whiskey weather. It's not snowing yet, but man, it's like, what time is it? 8 o'clock our time, Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. It's just like it's a whiskey night.
Yeah,
it's a whiskey night for sure.
We are an hour later than normal. Yes, I did post for those that may have been mistaken. I got on and I just posted a comment. If you got in here early enough, you probably should have seen my comment that just said, "Hey, it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight." So be patient.
That is my fault. I had to shoot family Christmas photos outside, and then I ended up working until about 15 minutes ago. So yeah, appreciate everybody sticking around. Hope it's not too late. But yeah, let's get stuck in. How's everyone doing tonight?
I'm looking. I scrolled up to the top of the comments to do a quick roll call, and even the comment that I posted earlier, the first ones are gone. And let me see. Yeah, Tom R had actually posted today as well early. His comment, our comments are gone on the YouTube chat comments right now. We're starting with Scott Friedland. John Colling is here. Joe Combs II. Evan Stevens. Ryan Mercer, Big Dog, Stewart of Butte, Adam Clary, Pickly Doo is tuning in, and Amy Buxton. Amy's the one that pointed out to us that he was at the event in New York when we were wondering where he was at. Ben Austin is here. And my screen jumped on me there a little bit. Jeff I. Sue is tuning in. The Whiskey Franco, Mamuka 1977, Wyatt Hazy, George Kaplan, Jimmy Jazz, Brandon, Randall Borkus, Jen Currents, Adam Fahey, Tom R. I already shouted out, I think. His first comment was missing. Joseph Horton is here. Jason Jones, Ian M., Classic Car Traveler, and S. Armour. Good evening, all.
That was a hell of a roll call, Scott. Ian M says present. Nice. Good crowd tonight for this cold and frigid Monday. And I was thinking, Scott, this is an unscripted dialogue. What is your preferred ABV for malt whiskey? Like when it comes, like if you were just to pour something in glass, or obviously if it's a cask strength, to like what level would you personally dilute it to? Like, and I just on average. And I'd love to open this up to the chat too. So anybody, if you're curious to know, like just quick poll, and it's all relative to where we're going from here. But what would you say, Scott?
I'd say probably between 50 and 55, somewhere in there. Probably probably more around the 55 area.
That's really high for drinking strength. I mean, that's yeah.
60s. I mean, I say it all the time. I'll always start neat. If I've tasted a whiskey several times and I know where I like it, I'm going to pour it and I'm going to add probably that drop or two of water and get it where I think it's going to be, where I'm going to enjoy it, and go from there. But if it's a new whiskey, I'm always drinking it neat first and then trying to find that sweet spot for it. But I think my palate overall really is that kind of 50 to 55 range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of comments come in. 55. Javier Vegas de Oaxaca says 55. Okay, well then I'm just kind of lame. I'm kind of like a high 40s. I guess it depends on the type of whiskey, but high 40s, maybe 50%. What does that make me? I'm just chasing the flavor. My wife loves like really high strength and she likes the burn. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, low 50s is Sam Gilmore, Jimmy Jazz, 52-ish, Ben Austin around 55 or north of 62.5. Well, I think the question I said it was relative. I just got a quick little spoiler alert. We have 5 whiskeys tonight, and 4 of the 5 are over 62%. Yeah. Jeez. So obviously all these whiskeys will be tasting neat, and then add in some water. You know, all of our whiskeys are for the most part cask strength. So you have the opportunity to enjoy it at the 62+%. I'm looking over here, like 62, 63, 63.9. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see where we settle. Have you tasted any of these yet, Scott?
I have. I've been through 3. We've got 5. I've gotten 3 of them down the gullet, as they would say.
So yeah, I saw a comment. I think GCAP said something about ready to warm up with whiskey. That is the intent with these monster drams coming to you live right now.
All right, we're going to start off. We've got a 9-year-old. Hold on just a second. Let me get the banner going here. $105.39, and show you a little bit of the color. For a 9-year-old, our cast type on this one is an ex-bourbon hogshead, and then finished in a second fill, heavily toasted medium char hogshead, and a lot of influence for a 9-year-old. It looks much older. Most of that influence is going to be coming from that HTMC hogshead. So 9-year-old Speyside, named Complex and Delciois, as my spelling is off there. I better fix that. Should be delicious, complex, and delicious. 62.6% ABV, 105, cask number 105.39. Woo.
Classical nose, warming, rich aroma, a lot of stone fruits. Maybe some stewed apple pie. Yeah, that's a review. No, I mean, that's my first impression. Very, very classical nose. Classical of the region of Speyside, at least.
Yeah. Actually, toast. I was going to say toasted oak, but not even toasted oak, just toast. Buttered toast.
So with all the talk about the ABV, is it jumping up at you? First pour. Actually, your bottle's been, I just opened mine for the first time, but first pour of the night, is it overly prickly, or do you think it's like?
No, it's really about what I expect on a spicy and sweet nose. Nice oaks, some nice fruit, nice char, almost a little nutty as well. Black tea, walnut for the nut.
I will say, I'm really into this one. Kind of a young gun, 9 years old, yeah. Speysider, bourbon cask. I think the HTMC, the heavy toast medium char, really injects a lot of character. I'm just noticing here, just on the aroma.
Yeah.
There's a complexity. Oh, yeah. Duh. The name is Complex and Delicious.
Yeah, but without that second fill HTMC hogshead, our color wouldn't be near this influenced, and I don't think the nose would be near this pronounced or this dark. Looking at an ex-bourbon hogshead, I think we'd be looking at a little fruitier, a little lighter, nose, and then that HTMC hogshead has just really grabbed the oak flavors, the oak notes, and pushed them through. Yep, very nice. Get in on the palate. Cheers.
Sláinte. Cheers. That was the horse looting. Totally different.
Wow.
Bit of a roller coaster, that one.
It's strong. It's strong.
Casually swished into my mouth like, oh yeah, I do this professionally, and then it hit me.
Strong ABV, but strong palate-wise, just notes. Cinnamons, oak, little slight peppery.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of tobacco, little bit of nuttiness. Berries.
Big dog, be cool, Ben. He's calling me out of my shit for that reaction. It was so approachable. I thought the aroma I was like, it's so complex. It's inviting. It's not overly powerful for 62+%. And then in the palate, I was like, wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. It's luscious. It's a great texture, really well balanced flavors, still approachable. And then it kind of hit me on the back end, as you saw from that live reaction.
Welch's grape juice.
There we go back. I'm immediately adding water. Just
yeah, spicy. It's strong. It's a palate puncher. It's a burning setting in on the back of my tongue, but nice cinnamons, nice spices here, nice oak influence, slight toasted notes, fruits. I like the berries and the grapes, the grape juice. Little bit of pipe tobacco, sweet tobacco. Wow. That really sets in and takes over on the palate.
Yeah. I'm into it, man. I'm into this one. This is what I would call a hidden gem. You know, if you guys see, we do the hidden gems once a month. We pick a few casks that are really kind of on paper, maybe not the most stand out-ish. They don't stand out, but are just really kind of mind-blowing once you actually uncork them. I think this is an automatic entry so far for me.
Oh, yeah. And Amy Buxton says, I like to drink along, so I grabbed the first spicy and sweet I saw in the cabinet. Turned out to be a bourbon hogshead and HTMC. Which, what cask was that, Amy? I just added a drop of water on mine, so.
Yeah, I added a dash as well. Just give it a moment.
Honeyed. Oh, that's bringing out some other notes now. Some more of the toasted notes, toasted oaks are coming out now with the water. Brought that ABV down a little bit. Letting some of it spread its wings here a little bit. Looking for the nuttiness I was getting on the nose. Not so much, maybe some slight. Yeah, I mean, I'd still stick with a walnut. Very slight walnut notes in there, though. Black walnuts. Great finish on this, too. This thing hangs around.
I think when you consider like all things in this whiskey, the sort of the multi-dimensional nature that you get from the two casks, the balance of warmth and the intensity of this, the strength of the whiskey, which really kind of picks up at the end, I would say this is as good of as a winter whiskey, not in a sherry cask can get. You know what I mean? Like this to me is like you can curl up by the fire or just like get outside with some like hand warmers in your gloves. Like it's a wintertime whiskey. I don't think I would really be reaching for this in the heat of the summer. So on brand.
Put me another couple drops of water on that and see. Woo. Yeah. Even with that first dash of water I added, it's still hot, still nice, still good, still just full of flavors.
Should we go to number 2?
2 rounds of water, more sweetness coming out. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Have your moment. I don't want to deprive you. I'm looking at the 5 whiskeys with an average ABV of 62%, and I'm just thinking.
Yeah. Woo. Boy, I tell you what, water is really opening that thing up. More sweetness coming out. It's actually burning more now, going down the back of my throat and on the back of my tongue. Wow, and that's still a high ABV too. Toasted honeys, toasted Cheerio, honey nut Cheerios. There you go. Wow. Woo.
You're on tonight with the descriptors.
Mm.
You've been warming up today. What have you been doing the last hour? You're calling out the things. Little tobacco, honey nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
Ooh, spot on. Welch's grape juice. Like you're going brand names and everything.
A little bit of a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
My homemade sourdough bread.
Oh, that's homemade sourdough. Who made that?
I do.
You make it?
Uh-huh.
Nice. I love sourdough bread.
Yep. Just started a few months ago. It's come along pretty nice.
You started baking bread a few months ago?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
That's an unexpected but much respected hobby, I would say.
I started like it's flour and water. How can you mess it up? Or if you mess it up, who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you just add different grains? Obviously, I mean, sounds like a dumb question, but how have you experimented with different types of breads beyond sourdough?
No, not yet beyond sourdough, but just making really experimentation comes with your flours. Mm-hmm. And then I did try a garlic herb one, which turned out decent, but it needed more garlic and herbs put into it. So I'm experimenting with that a little bit. So
it's funny. I just saw something online about recipes of like dipping sauces for bread, like mostly like Italian recipes, some like old school Italian recipes, like olive oil and various, herbs and spices. So I was just thinking the other day, man, I'm going to start making some bread dipping oil sauce, whatever you call it. So yeah, we need to get together, man. Hang out and drink whiskey and eat.
You make the oils, I'll make the bread.
What is this life? Oh man.
All right.
Let's roll. I've opened this one.
We had 2 spicy and sweets tonight, so we decided to give them to you back to back, starting with a 9-year-old and moving to a 12-year-old in the lineup. This one's 63.9% ABV. I'm glad we only had 5 tonight, but cask 113.52, dangerously deceptive. 12-year-old Speyside, spicy and sweet, refill ex-bourbon hogshead, 63.9% ABV. And our color is pretty close to the 9-year-old we just tasted. So just to show you the influence of that HTMC hogshead on that first 9-year-old. Ooh. Sweet, fruity.
And mellow.
More, yeah, a little more mellow.
Showing its age for sure.
Nice fruits.
Yeah. Also very approachable. It could just be me on my own palate, but deceptively approachable. Oh my, look at the name of this thing. As I'm saying that, I'm really dangerously deceptive. What's going on tonight?
You did not rehearse that either.
You're on your game. I'm way off of mine.
Berries, cinnamon, oak, little caramel, and little vanilla. Wow. Just jumping out, nose just jumping out of the glass on this one. There's a little bit of maltiness in there, a little bit of a tangy fruit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not screaming like breakfast cereal maltiness. No. Little rhubarb, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean it's a little bit. It's a little bit more pungent type malt, or kind of a pungent vegetal note in there with it. Oh, you know what we didn't do real quick? Hold on, we need to read the tasting notes from the bottle on the first one, and then so we remember to do this one when we're there. From complex and delicious, The use of a second fill heavy toast hogshead has worked wonders with the fruity new make to create a complex and delicious dram. Well, that was it on the first one. We nailed that one. Yeah.
Who's this Jonathan Taze in the house? JT. Still impressed you can pronounce my last name, Taze.
Taves.
Taves. I said Taves. I'm from Chicago. I should know this. It's like the layup. It's a layup name. One of the most famous names in the city, I would say, Chicago.
It was Justin Taves.
Justin.
All right. Let's get in on the palate on this one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. The oak and the fruit and a nuttiness hit me right up front. More berries type fruit.
Yeah.
More spiciness, I think, than we saw on the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Definite raspberries. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, we did the two spicy and sweet together just because I think it's always fun to compare. Again, these are different whiskeys from different distilleries, so they're categorized into 1 and 12 flavor profiles. But it's always good to compare and really see like how different they are. This one, the first one, it definitely was more of a classical Speyside, the classic notes, the orchard fruits, stewed orchard fruits. This has it more of the berries, a little bit more spicy. I don't want to say there's more going on because that suggests that the other one was not multidimensional at all, and it is. It's more unique. Again, just sort of deviating away from the classical Speyside character. What is that really? I think we all have a different interpretation of what that could be.
Mm-hmm. Nice oak still on this one. Cinnamons, your spice cinnamon, not like cinnamon red hots or cinnamon like that's like a cinnamon and brown sugar.
Yeah, really, really nice sort of baking spices. And I mean, you're the baker now, so you tell me what's inside. What's everyone drinking tonight on this cold Monday? Ooh. I know there were a couple of comments here about what's in the glass. Ooh. Surely we're not the only ones tonight.
Buttery burnt caramel, almost like a caramel brittle. I added a dash of water on mine. Let me try it with that.
Yeah, I like it with water. It brings up more of the fruits, becomes a bit more floral. I don't know. It's more like orchestral is the word I use. It just there's more going on. Like when you add a little bit of water, there's like things firing in all different directions.
Wow. I
like that.
Nice palate on this one though, from front to back. Finish is good, hanging in there. Ooh. I don't notice too much difference with I added water. I mean, everything is still there. I don't know if anything else is really showing itself that wasn't when it was neat. But man, there's so much on the palate. Just the fruits, the spices, the oak. Looking for that vegetal note though, and I'm not really getting it. Anything that would, on the nose, it was kind of in there, kind of that vegetal maltiness. Trying to see if I can find it on the palate, and I'm not. I don't know if you are, if you've gotten anything along those lines.
You must be a great conversationalist on a first date. Like, you ask all the questions, you think real deep, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's smooth, and I'm coughing. Yeah. You're like going so in, man. You're like in this lane. Yeah, ladies must love it. So John Mack says drinking 66.195 if these walls can talk. Man, that was one of my favorite whiskeys was it this year or last year? Within the last 12 months. Fantastic.
I don't remember that
whiskey.
one. That might have been last
year. Yeah. I want to say it's in some double matured, some sort of wine cask. Fantastic. Anyway, all right. Should we roll?
Yep, almost. I'm going to try it with 2 rounds of water here.
Huh.
Not too much difference. I like that one neat and with the first round of water. 2 rounds didn't really do too much. Let's look at the tasting notes on 113.52.
Oh.
We opened a can of rhubarb drink.
Got one.
Before eating dangerously deceptive chocolate chili fudge, diluted cream horns, and spicy cashew nuts. What are cream horns? Is that a bakery baked good? A cream horn? Cream horns? Ooh, that is spicy.
It's just like you take a horn from like a bowl, and then you put it in a Vitamix and you blend it up and add some milk and you have creamed horns. Like that's it, right?
That's how they grow organic barley.
That's how they make sourdough bread in Scotland. And take the coo's horns, put it in a Vitamix, add milk. Yeah. Huh. What is that? A Diet Coke? All right, let's go. Let's move. Oh man, this 1 hour later start time has really brought out all the best and worst. I think tonight.
All right.
Who's lying in bed right now with their little AirPods or their headphones in right now, watching us on your phone? Probably maybe some people on the East Coast. That's still kind of early, but
going to a spicy and dry. I like the movie reference on this one.
I love it.
Let's see how many people know. List in the chat.
Wait, hold on. Before you post it, first person to name the movie of which this whiskey references will get a $25 gift card to our shop, smwsa.com. Why not? First person, right? Are you cool with that? You're cool with that. So you have to type the whole thing in the chat. Yeah. Wait, why am I here? Okay, well, Scott has somehow disappeared at the worst possible time as I'm calling for a contest. So here we go. I will introduce this one. First of all, what does Scott do? How does he do this here? Okay. Let's remove this thing. 113. All right. Oh, he's back. I was just getting ready to host this contest. I thought you left to go enter it yourself.
I was trying to take the other cask off of the screen and put up the new one, and my screen locked up on me, and then I just got dropped. We're seriously, we've got a snowstorm going here, so that must be messing with the line somewhere.
Big Dog, it says Ben's big. First of all, from a guy called Big Dog, well played. This guy's giving me shit all night. I love it.
People are just guessing movies, and just in case already. We've got Fargo, Top Gun, Star Wars, Back to the Future. You guys are not even close.
Oh my God. Frozen 2. It's not going to be a hard one. I don't think it's a hard one.
Are we ready? A $25 gift card is what you said? First person. This is going to be the first person that shows up in our comments, because it has to hit the server and then bounce back from YouTube to us. And it's going to be the first person that shows up to us. It could be different on your end. So are you ready?
And we should probably say, just to get everybody's sort of minds in the right place, the genre of the film is...
I wouldn't even say that.
Oh, I mean, okay. All right. Okay.
I mean,
Good cop, bad cop. All right.
It could be, drama. It could be
Oh,
rom-com.
no,
I don't know.
no.
We don't want to. It's Finding Nemo. Tom R is just throwing out a bunch of stuff here. All right, let's post it before somebody accidentally guesses it. Are you ready? Cast 94.22. A replicant tries whiskey making. This is a 10-year-old Highland, spicy and dry.
Harry met Sally. Did that just come in? No.
Second fill ex bourbon barrel, 62.7%. Warren Buff is on our end, just showing as the first person to post it.
Let's double check. Is Warren the first? Because we aren't using StreamYard. Is that the case on publicly?
I'm checking StreamYards right now, and it's showing Warren Buff, and YouTube is showing me Warren Buff was the first one to get it right.
Warren Buff, you're $25 closer to Warren Buffett. Well done.
All right. Yeah. Spicy and dry, 62.7%. Our third in a row here, over 60% ABV. Now, here's a malty, grassy, toasted vanilla.
A baby dram.
Yeah, we actually haven't seen Distillery 113 for a while, Sue. Really malty, oaky.
Oh, yeah.
Slight citrus, almost like a grilled citrus. Vanillas. Yeah.
This spicy and dry flavor profile, the yellow dummy-proof color coding, I have always thought, and this is a good example of it. This is a great example of the spicy and dry just overall. It always reminds me of a dusty distillery floor. Or like most of the whiskeys to me are so different from what you would find from a commercial bottling off the shelf. They're usually very raw. This one's just on the nose, pretty approachable. But it's always I always consider this profile like the whiskey enthusiast profile. I don't know if that makes sense. Meaning like it's just because it takes me back to going to distilleries, touching every step of the process, tasting and smelling the whole step of the process. I don't know. So many of these whiskeys just take me back to a working distillery. Yeah. And this is a good example of that. Mm-hmm. They're usually unforgiving. They're not the most elegant. They're pretty raw. And I just think have so much character to offer.
That I like our cast type on this is a second fill ex bourbon barrel. Mm-hmm. I've really gotten into those as well, just because you get such a better look at the distillate. You don't have as much wood influence and cask influence coming through on it. And it's visible here on this one on a 10-year-old. Our color on this by far the lightest of the night. And so, like I say, very little wood influence here and nice look at the distillate usually. So banana cream pie.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah. Or bananas Foster, maybe.
Yeah, this one's, I don't want to turn anybody off by when I said it was raw and or intense. This one kind of evokes what I described, but it does offer, I think, some unique notes. And that banana cream.
I think you can be right with raw and intense. With some of the spicy and dry, some of them can be pretty, punchy, kind of fiery, you would say.
Out of all the unpeated profiles, I would say, I'm not going to argue and say that's more raw and punchy than like a heavily peated whiskey. But for an unpeated of all those profiles, I think this is it for me.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Nice, warm, sort of autumnal spice. Some pencil shavings You really get sort of that dusty wooden floor. I'm looking at our background right here. What is this distillery, this warehouse? I can't really read that. I'm just looking at the background here, and it reminds me like of just looking at the floor a little bit.
This one almost a little bit sweeter, almost a little bit fruitier than some of the other spicy and dries that we've had. Probably one of the lighter ones, and it's probably because of Distillery 113. But still, just nice oak influence. I don't think this is quite as astringent and peppery as some of the spicy and dries that we've had, but light citrus notes, nice, smooth oak, honeys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Honey, I always forget just the name of the honey, the little bush that grows on fences. It's honeysuckle. Honeysuckle. I always think honeycomb, and I always forget. I've got to think for honeysuckle. Yeah, and I think that second fill, ex-bourbon barrel is just giving us a really nice look at Distillery 113 here. 10 years, get a drop of water on it. Whopping ABV at 62.7.
So much is discussed about regionality and like how to identify a whiskey from a different region. And we do those blind tastings, and we put the region of origin as a blind tasting sort of criteria. And I know it's not always the case, but this one, to me, if we were doing a blind tasting, I would definitely guess this is a classical Highland whiskey. It's a bit more earthy. It's a bit more robust. The stewed orchard fruit profile that we've had really for the first couple of whiskeys to some extent is completely ditched. It's more grassy. Just overall, I think just more grip to it. Mm-hmm. So again, Highlands is like there's just so many different styles of whiskey produced there. So it's not really a fair just tie-in necessarily, but for me, I would guess for sure, and I like that.
There's some slight peppery spiciness here. Not near as much as we've seen on some. Actually, and as I'm saying that, I had some kick in on the back end on this. Some of these are pretty, black pepper, cracked black pepper forward. Not so much here. Almost more oak and light citrus fruits, honeyed, and then a little bit of spice on the back end. Some pepper, I was about said cinnamon, but nope, no cinnamon. Celery. I would just say like celery seed. Yeah, a little different, a little bit more vegetal here with the oak. Nice vanillas. Not real strong vanilla, slight vanillas.
Nice.
Water bringing out a little bit of a dry cigar tobacco. Almost like sometimes you pick up a dry cigar and it crumbles a little bit on you. Almost just dry tobacco leaf. Wow. Dusty. There's your dust. Yep, there's your dusty floor. Dusty warehouse.
Well, welcome to it. Glad to have you in my dusty warehouse. I've been here for approximately 12 minutes. Close the door behind you. Stay for a while.
Took a little bit, but I got there.
We got plenty of dust. Oh, what is going on today?
I was stuck looking at the distillery bottles in the visitor center, talking with a German woman.
What? Oh, you're continuing. Oh, sorry.
No, I was referencing Tomatin when we were at Tomatin in the visitor center. You were in the warehouse. You're in the warehouse here, tasting the dusty, and
yeah,
I'm dealing with.
Welcome to this tour. There's got to be a Scott in the chat. How do you say? Welcome to this fine tour.
I make my own choices.
Malt, water, and barley. Today, You are going to taste a whiskey. You know, there's something about just putting this big microphone in your face that makes you feel like what you have to say is actually important. It's like I immediately like change my voice.
You got to roll with it. You're rolling with it.
Never a dull moment at the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, Midwestern America Work from Home Club.
I did add water, Tom. That's where I started to get the dusty floor that Ben was referencing. Water brought that out, and a little bit of that vegetal note, kind of that celery seed. Yeah. Ooh.
That's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me. It's not just the mic, Ben. What you have to say is important.
Very important.
Well done. Wow, nice dog, Max. That's a beautiful dog in that profile pic. Nice.
All right. Number 4.
Oh yeah. So this is on paper. I'm not gonna. No, I am gonna say it. I think you and I are both the most curious about what's gonna go down here. Oh, actually, you tasted this one already, right?
It was a little sip today.
Okay, you tasted a little bit. Okay. Pour this right here.
And what's odd, I didn't even pour enough to notice the color today. So we've got 80.31 insuperable enjoyment. 11-year-old Speyside, juicy oak and vanilla, ex-bourbon hogshead, and then a first fill ex-Oloroso hogshead. 60.3%, 125. It's on the color of this. I did not notice today, but let's see why this is in the juicy oak and vanilla profile.
Yeah, what we're curious about is that typically when any of our whiskeys have spent any time in some sort of sherry cask, they usually can make their way into like deep, rich, and dried fruits, sometimes spicy and dry because the sherry gives it a spicy note. The juicy oak and vanillas, we tend to see like really fresh bourbon casks, usually first fill bourbon, or the like, or a smaller cask, giving a lot of sort of the classical bourbon notes. So I'm curious what's about to go down here.
So I had to look it up. We were 9 years in the ex-bourbon hogshead and then transferred to the first fill Oloroso. So 2 years, 9 and 2 years in that Oloroso. And yeah, like you said, it's an interesting flavor profile to put this one in. This could throw some people in a blind tasting, having to pick out the flavor category. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. I poured a pretty healthy pour here, actually. May have to pour some of that out to get a little bit better nose. Because I'm just getting juicy fruits and oak and vanilla.
Mark says, great color. All sounds good. Wish I could pick them up in NYC versus shipping. Would be nice. Our liquor license does not permit that, but it would be cool. Do you see this change battery pack?
Yes.
Oh, it's not just me. All right, I'm going to change the battery pack while you wax lyrically about this.
You bet.
First I have to find the battery pack.
Eric Wade is asking if we've had any problems with a cork in SMWS bottle. I have not, actually not. And I know kind of a hot topic right now, corks or synthetic corks. Off the shelf bottlings? Yes. I don't think I've had any tainted SMWS bottles or had a SMWS cork break even. And I've got some bottles that are older. I don't know. Has anybody had a SMWS cork break? So Warren Buff says that seen plenty of dirtiffs, a good deal of sweet, fruity, and mellows, some spicy and dry, but never a juicy oak and vanilla. out of sherry. Yeah, first here too. So I'm gonna get in on the palate on this. It's got some nice burnt, toasted notes there on the nose. Almost similar to some of those from that HTMC hogshead we were nosing. But cheers, everybody.
While you're enjoying that whiskey, I've just spilled water all over my desk. So I'm going to go after change the battery pack. I told you, everybody, the 62% ABV on average is not no joke. Let me go get a towel.
Wow. This one, yeah, I mean, it's up front, juicy oak and vanilla, sweet. Underneath starts to kick in some of those nice sherry undertones. They're in the background, outweighed by the juicy oak and vanilla. Completely, almost tropical, juicy, fruity notes, like juicy fruit gum, vanilla extract. Mm.
I just decided to water my plant while I was at it. So
yeah. Max Kruger is pointing out, loving how Scott is like, I've never had a cork break, and I've got, turns around and looks at Whiskey Wall. Some bottles, some older bottles is what I was thinking. Probably, no, from probably 2017, 2018, maybe. Ben, have you had any SMWS corks break or had any tainted whiskeys from any?
I've never had a tainted whiskey. I think out of all the bottles I've opened, I think I've had one. I'm talking like that's at least 600 or 700 bottles. So I think I've had one, and it was not a new cork, like off a new bottle. It was someone that I already had opened.
Yeah. Wow. So when I first opened this earlier today, juicy oak and vanilla all over it. Still more now, but the sherry notes are starting to show a little bit with air. I don't know if I even say sherry notes, but it is darker. The juicy oak and vanilla is still there with this one, but I mean, there's still some nice, almost chocolatey, nutty, toasted undertones. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still fruity, sweet berries. Brown sugars again, almost a brown sugar caro syrup. And that's probably some of the Oloroso influence. That's still neat. I haven't added a drop of water yet. It's weird. It's so light and fruity and juicy up front, and then just turning slightly darker on the finish, well into the palate. Creme brulee. I like it.
Scotch Mark Whiskey Society. Eric, are you like entering the chat through your Apple Watch here? This guy I saw earlier there was a Scotch Mark Whiskey Society. But the question is, have you got any particular bottles set aside for Thanksgiving? It's a good question. Do you?
No, I don't. No. I used to have, I would do Christmas every year. And I think a couple Thanksgivings, I would open something, or maybe open something I had on hand that I hadn't opened yet. But really, just from the Scotch Test Dummies and the SMWS the last few years, I've got so much good whiskey. I don't necessarily go out and buy bottles now just for those occasions.
Yeah. He said he's using his voice on his phone.
Do you think if you had this blind, do you think you'd put it in a Dirta flavor profile?
No, I would put in the juicy oak and vanilla. Yeah, I think it's accurately categorized.
Yeah. I mean, it's got so much up front, lighter, sweeter, fruitier vanillas, and then those sherry notes start to kick in on the back end, undertones of them. But still, it's not enough to push it into the Dirta profile for sure. Which we're after 9 years and 2. Tasty notes on the bottle. Sweet, fruity, sun-soaked raisins and candied roasted nuts, while to taste jamon cooler. After reduction, strawberry tarts and custard slices. Yep.
Like a custard slice.
For a first fill Oloroso, it's had impact on the color, but not necessarily on the palate on that one. That's a very intriguing, very interesting whiskey. I like it. And I don't think I would peg that as a Dirta in a blind tasting. Or even I don't know if I'd even pick out and say, yeah, that's definitely a sherry, finish or maturation on that. It's really slight in the background, but there and good.
Let's roll.
And, yeah. Sure. I was going to say on to the last one of the night, and one I'm looking forward to tasting. Not peated. We don't have a peated whiskey tonight.
But sort of.
But and then again, an interesting profile in a distillery that usually does peat. Yeah. 4.309, a furtive peaty peck on deck.
So let's just say technically, though, spirit is peated,
could be,
but it's so faint that just on the palate, it's been categorized into sort of the oily and coastal profile, which we don't see a lot of lately. I haven't seen a lot of oily and coastals at all.
Yep.
I think that's a fan favorite too.
And it's the first oily and coastal that I've had or that I know of from distillery number 4 as well.
Oh, yeah?
Just to show you the label. Cast type is the ex-bourbon hogshead and then transferred to a first fill ex-bourbon barrel. Again, over 60%, 62.7% ABV. Show you the color on this one. I mean, obviously just ex-bourbon casks involved here. No wine cask influence. Nice lighter golden color for 11-year-old. Whew. On the nose, it's like a creamed lemon honey.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
On bamboo. Slight woodiness, maltiness.
A little prickly, but not in a bad way.
Right.
A bit herbal too. I like. You definitely get this sort of the salinity and just on the nose. It is a bit herbal as well. I think there's a famous note from the spirit, and that is a heather, sort of like a very sweet heather. Get a little bit of that too.
Any peat? Do you get any peat on the nose? I do not. I
think at this level, it's so low that it's easy to confuse like any peat with just like a salinity almost. It's evocative of sort of it's a coastal whiskey, but The smoke is very, very faint.
Ooh, I like it. Little spicy, a little peppery. Yeah, let's get in. Palate. Cheers.
Cheers. That's a winter whiskey right there. Ooh.
Toasted oak and toasted honey. To me, up front, maybe the heathered. Ooh, heather notes. I think I'm getting a very slight peat.
You're getting it on the palate. Yeah.
Yep. Very slight. So much more toasted notes, toasted honeys, and toasted oaks. Just viscous. Oily. Of course, it's oily and coastal, but it's just, man, it coats the inside of my mouth, and I can just feel it with my tongue, even almost.
Jim Ransom says, "Yes, give me that peat."
Lighter fruity notes, but I really can't say lemon. Maybe a little lime zest. Yeah, I go that grilled lime. Yep, on the beach, salty air cruising in on you. Ooh.
Yeah, that salinity is really pronounced on the palate, even more so than on the aroma.
Yeah. Ooh. That's tasty. Tasty on the palate, front to back. That's neat. One more little sip. I'm going to add a drop of water.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Whitefish. It's grilled or grilled lime on some whitefish, just like some mild fish, fresh caught, smoked on the beach. Ooh.
Smoked on the beach.
You were in the warehouse earlier with the dusty floors. I'm on the beach with some whitefish being grilled with some lime. Ooh.
Where is that, in your backyard?
I wish.
Yeah, me too. Get me calling you out for being landlocked.
Yeah,
I am as well. I forgot I am now.
It is snowing here.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer for me. At this price point, I think that's an easy one. Really good sort of cask influence. First of all, bourbon barrel, but in 11 years, it's still well balanced with the spirit, and I think it's great. If you're looking for an oil and coastal, this is it.
Ooh. Oh, water is. This one's exploding with water.
Yeah. Yeah. I added some early on. It's come alive.
Oh yeah. Everything just expanded tenfold. All of the citrusy lime notes and the maritime salty. Just a very, very slight grilled or smoky type note. They're fanning the flames with big.
Okay, Jenna.
Is it banana leaves that they wrap like when they smoke pork and stuff, and they put it in they wrap it in the banana leaves?
Yeah, and that's how you make sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Full circle tonight.
I challenge everybody that buys this bottle to add a drop of water to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 2 drops to see, but yeah, that's definitely water. Definitely helped that one. Ooh. And the finish on that one is just hanging around. Sweet, fruity, earthy. Wow. Love it.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer, as I said earlier, this one. But there's a lot. And I will say just overall, the strength, I think to some could be pretty intimidating. 62% across the board tonight. 4 out of 5 were over 62%. None of them were unapproachable to the extent that you would expect, which is I think the sign of a good cask.
Ooh, man, water is just all right. Tasty notes on that one. Woo, a furtive peaty peck on deck. Clean and beautifully expressive Orcadian malt whiskey, full of heather, seashore complexities, breads, and herbs. Wow. I like it.
Yeah. Well, that's what we got for you tonight. Hope you all enjoyed that. This is where we end the night in brotherly love. Okay. All right. I was into it. There's that Diet Coke again. All right. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Just a reminder, tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern time, the release will drop. All these casts will be available. Are there any more coming out? I think pretty much only one.
I do have a slide real quick. I know we went through them all. I did get a slide for these. Oops.
Yep.
Don't need to take a picture. I can shrink that down a little bit. Oop. And everything is
gonna be all right.
Yeah. All right. I don't even know what I did there. Anyway, I lost it. Here we go. I'm back.
I want to see this posted online somewhere. Like, I have to get an attorney.
I'm sending it to your Instagram account.
Okay, shout out to the baby Grogu that's on it's found on my desk over here. Anyway, This is the way.
Here we go. Have you been watching Andor?
Yeah, of course I've been watching Andor.
I like that series.
Yeah, I'm into it. Mm-hmm. It was like a slow build, and then the acting's like top notch, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we had tonight.
Yep, the 5 bottles tonight. All 5 available 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. There's a couple of those going to move pretty quick.
Get a bottle, feel good, stream Andor late at night tomorrow. And it's a good place to be.
Yep. Everybody got your screenshot in?
Yeah, take your screenshot, look at it.
There you go.
Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Scott, always a pleasure.
Yep.
I enjoyed this sort of cold Mythic Monday. And everybody in chat is phenomenal as always. Great to see so many familiar faces and some new ones too. Shout out to Big Dog for calling me out all night. I do appreciate that. You're the man. And love you all. Love you, Scott.
Remember, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, cheers.
Mm.